Well guys, I haven't sat down and done this for a very long time, so welcome to the future of the channel. In this video, I'm going to go through my ideas for series, for videos, and for projects that I wish to bring to the channel over possibly the next 12 months, maybe the next 24 months. I don't know, but I think right now is time to take a step back, take stock, and actually see where the direction of this channel is going. So stick around to hear my thoughts, feelings, and ideas on projects I've had planned for nearly 3 years. Well, a lot of you probably already know, but I haven't made a tutorial or a guide in almost a year, possibly over a year, and I'm not entirely sure that's going to change anytime soon. Yeah, I know, not great. But there was a series that I really loved making, and I think you guys loved it as well. Now that was the Brickster Block series. I planned a lot of episodes for it, but so far, we only ever ended up with 4? Yeah, and 3 of them were churches? No, 2 of them were churches, one was a gatehouse, and the other was a very small building. So let me show you a list of things I had actually planned to do for that series, and if time is on my side, I may actually get a chance to do it. So let's have a look. So welcome to what you're going to see quite a lot of in this video. This is my OneNote for Windows 10. As most people probably have like binders, books, stuff full of ideas, this is mine. And up here in this section is the Brickster Block series. So starting in, let me have a look at the date up here. The 19th of October 2020 was when I first envisioned this series. Episode 1 featured, let me scroll on down, featured this house right here, and you can watch that video still. I had no idea what the series was going to be at that point, but as you can see, I had acquired quite a selection of buildings that I wished to actually do in this series. Why did it not happen? Your guess is as best as mine. I just think time sort of ran out on me. That looks really nice. I might try that. And I had, not just that, I then actually went through and tried to make an episode guide on what to do with it. So episode 1 and 2 happened. Episode 3 didn't happen like that, but I did still build a gatehouse. That was this here, the one from Brockenhurst, the one I actually walked to. And again, you guys loved that video. So if you guys shout and scream enough in the comments, I may get back to doing this series because I think Brickster Blocks is ultimately better for you guys than a block-to-block tutorial. I don't know. You let me know, but there was so much I was going to do. Look at these random gates I was going to build. More and more random stuff, buildings. But episode 4 was, yeah, another church. And then we were going to do the Blandford Forum Church, which you guys actually saw me build in the video for Let's Build Whiteberg City. I think it was my most recent time-lapse you saw that being built in. Then there was going to be more. This is a place called Bardford House. Now, I may get on to building this one next, so stick around to see some more of those. But as you can see, there is a lot planned. Maybe this series will make a return. I'm sorry it hasn't been around for over a year, but I've just now egged myself on, I believe. Anyway, let's carry on with this video. So regular viewers to the channel would have known a series called Let's Build Walhampton. I'm currently just dipping my toes and shoulders into the quayside down here in Walhampton. Now, this was a rehash of a series of a rehash called Let's Build Walhampton I started almost 3 years ago now. This series was meant to go on for weeks and months and most of last year, but after the way I designed and did this first one, it didn't really end up being a regular series, which was such a shame. Again, burnout is real, especially when you end up building everything at diagonals like I did here. Well, never fear, Let's Build Walhampton will make a return. Episode 0 and episode 1 are still part of the current series. Let me show you my list. So we're now over in a tab on the side here called 2021 videos. You may notice that we're currently on the 2nd of the 4th 2022 down here, so that never really came to fruition, but it doesn't matter because these are rolling projects and they can keep going and going forever. So we're here at Walhampton 2.0. Now this is my main brain dump for all of this. So this is what the series was going to be. So it was going to be closely resembling the layout of Lymington based on the 1907 OS 1 to 25,000 map that I found on the website for the National Library of Scotland. From that I then devised a plan of how to do it in game. This is a screenshot taken from the Dyn map, and you can see that I went around and made it almost Minecrafty, but if you look at the map below, you can see what I've done is kind of just turned the map of Lymington around a few degrees to the east. And this is actually the sort of plan for how I wanted to build it all. So episode 1 was all of this down here in the quayside, the river. You saw all of that, and what it looks like is it was quite a small part of the overall project, and that is correct. So episode 2 was going to be the train station, episode 3 perhaps the bottom of the high street, episode 4 the top of the high street. Up here, you can see I have an entire list of the episodes from 1 to 10. Now, I want it to be a limited series. I only wanted 10 episodes in it, so I was going to cram as much into each episode as I could. I think that was where my planning went wrong. I don't think it's going to be a limited series now. I think it's just going to roll on and on and on until we have all of these areas built. So expect a video from me on Let's Build Walhampton soon-ish, in the format of what you've been watching with my Whiteberg City updates, where we build, we talk, we plan, we build some more. There is going to be time lapses within it, but it's never going to be those long form time lapses like you saw for episode 1 on here. Now, the reason I didn't end up doing it anymore is because of the train station over there and the fact that it needed to be built at a diagonal. So I had a Lightmatica schematic of it built in the normal angle, but unfortunately I had to then try and change it around to a 2-block angle, which was going to be nightmarish. Although I will suck it up and do it soon enough, and we can carry on building this area around here, the rest of the high street, and just, yeah. Don't worry guys, this series isn't dead, neither is this project. We will continue this one, I promise. Right, should we look at what else there is on the list? So a lot of you would have seen over the last probably 6 months, the Whiteberg City update videos. They were all about what was happening during the reconstruction of the Greenwich project and also some future stuff. Now, I promised some townhouses, some other bits and bobs in that series, and we will get round to that soon enough. But there is a bit more of a pressing issue. This year marks the 110th anniversary of the Titanic sinking, well, launching and sinking, so we are envisioning doing something to do with that. So the docks may take precedence over what was going to be some townhouses. Now, this Whiteberg City project will roll on for years and years, so expect sporadic updates from that. It won't be an every 2-week series, it will be whenever we finally, well, whenever I myself sit down and have a go at building some stuff. But let me show you the plans for the docks. So I like to scribble stuff on maps and things. What you can see here is several different schemes for Whiteberg City. Now, this was the original scheme, and we kind of have built it in that sense. This area here was the Parliament, and that is exactly what we've done. So moving forward, you have a better idea. This is probably more like the scheme we're going to end up building. This was a comprehensive design that shows where the docks are going to be round about here. We have the old walled city and some more docks along the southern side. What I then did was I took an even higher grain map, went on and did some more drawing. Now, this is actually scaled. I don't know what scale it is to, but it's almost exactly as it should be. The river gets narrowed. We then end up with some docks here on the southern side and some docks here on the northern side. Now, the Titanic is possibly going to be in this berth here and then launched through a sluice into the main bit of river. So this is a plan that's going to go forward soon, and I hope the rest of the team also commits to it, because we've decided that the Titanic should be built. Now, if this never gets built, obviously you can blame myself for that more so than anyone. But as you can see, there are many projects to do with Whiteberg City. The image search is high. There is so much in here of things we wish to build and do. I just have no idea when it's going to come to fruition, but it is a monumental building and a monumental project. So I do hope that soon enough you'll be able to see some more progress, as in the embankment as we spoke about in the last episode of the Let's Build Whiteberg City. Right, well, I have one more project I wish to talk to you guys about. Now, there is a project that I've been planning for the best part of 2 years, if not longer, and that is the project of Sutton. Now, Sutton is going to be a city on the seaside based on that of Plymouth. Now, Plymouth is a place that I used to live in, and I've recently visited there again, and it's renewed spirit in what I wish to build. So let me show you all of the planning I already have. It's quite extensive, but it will need to be updated for this world. So back in August 2020, I started to design a project that was based on Plymouth, as I mentioned, all to do with the maps from the National Library of Scotland website again. So if we scroll on down through here, you can see I have some milestones set out. And the idea was we go through and build all of these per episode, very similar to how I had planned out the Let's Build Walhampton series. And I still really wish to do this. As you can see, there is possibly going to be 10, if not more episodes. Oh, we went for 15 episodes here. Now, some of these buildings are large and should take up most of the area, but the episodes we focused on building around the landscape as well. If we scroll on down, you can see I had all sorts of images from my old server, the one pre what we've been building on here. So I had all sorts of little designs, how the city is going to be planned out with roads, but this was the important stuff here. So these are the old maps that I'll be using as guide guidance. First of all, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to build it all on a diagonal like this or straight in that road up. There's a straight road there, so I think I'll end up building this at a diagonal with that road straight, and that'll be an interesting project to try and build this here, the Royal Theatre at an angle. And I'll try and find a picture of that in a second to show you, but you can see here we've got all sorts of roads and layouts that actually do not exist anymore in Plymouth. Plymouth was bombed in the war and a lot of it was completely redesigned. So you can see here this is kind of the layout that I wish to go for in red. Let me show you a little selection of stuff I actually have planned. So over on the Rebirth website, which is the Royal Institute of British Architects, they have an extensive collection of drawings by a John Fowler, I believe, of all of the Plymouth buildings during the time period. So you can see here these are beautifully drawn and they show that nice Regency style of building which is around about 1800s onwards, and that's when a lot of these buildings were designed. And these ones here are part of the Esplanade, which actually still exists today. You've got plans for the interior, plans for the exterior of shops, and what I'm going to do is use these plans, because there are no surviving buildings, a lot of them, to actually be able to redesign Plymouth as it once looked. Look at these buildings, they're gorgeous, they're Greek, they scream exquisiteness. This project, like I said, I've been planning for years, so I hope by the end of this year I can finally get around to actually having a go at starting it and having a go at bringing back to life a city that is no more. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you're excited for that one as well. So guys, as always, you know I love Halloween, so let's take one last moment to talk about my plans for Halloween later this year. So it wouldn't be WBC builds without some Halloween builds. It's my favourite time of year, it's my favourite genre of buildings, and as you guys know, I love building in it. So let's have a look at the list of stuff I wish to build. I mean, you guys saw me build this last year, which was the ruinous city, well, the ruinous town of Rodney with the ruined plantation house and the swamp all around it. So Halloween for me is the time to go all out on, and I almost built 4 buildings, one every week for the last year, but unfortunately this landscape and this all took far too long to be able to do. Thank you Onion Ring for that, that looks great there. So let me give you a little sneak peek at what you can expect from this year's Halloween. So for Halloween this year I'll be building this for you guys, an abandoned Second Empire house, and it'll be linked into the stories that we had going last year as well with Count Wobula and the hunt for the book of the, what was it, the sacred pineapple I believe. So I can't wait to build this one for you. I do love a Second Empire house, especially one that looks as ruined as this. Now there was an entire short film I wish to have made as well for the Book of Ananas or the Book of the Pineapple that may end up being made one day. I did write a bit of a plot for it as well. So other video ideas were all sorts of random houses like these and this, and there was just an absolute mind-boggling amount of research done on random buildings. So I do hope that next year I'll be able to bring to you more buildings, especially this one here, the Old Hickory Tavern. Now this was an insane looking building, look at it, it's completely ramshackled, and I think now we've got some new blocks in 1.17, I think I'll be able to have a little go at building that with some calcite or whatnot. Creepy Victorian house as well, we had this one here, these are some real life images from it, but this was how it looked in the time period, so I think this will look very nice as well. Well, there you have it guys, a sort of whistle-stop tour around the sort of thoughts and feelings in my mind for where I want to take this channel over the next 12 to 24 months. Now, tutorials are a thing you always ask for, and as we mentioned at the beginning, the Brickster Block series will hopefully fill that gap. If not, let me know in the comments below as to what specific types of videos you would like to see from me, and I can see what I can sort of weave into the coming programs. But a little note as well is I do not believe I'll be able to make weekly videos. The timing is just no longer possible for me, so expect a video whenever I can put one up. Maybe weekly, it may be monthly, it may be every 2 weeks, but there will be videos, don't you worry. Oh, and of course the server update tours will continue. They will always continue. February was a blip, I had COVID. So anyway guys, remember, get inspired, get building, and I'll see you throughout the rest of the year. Goodbye.